Yes, Tammy, and that child's stepfather tells me he is doing okay and he is safe now that he knows that the suspect is here in the Volusia County Jail and he's facing a $260,000 bond. Now, the 5-year-old stepfather says this all happened outside their apartment late last night. He tells me while he and his friends were hanging out, he sent his son to put his cell phone on the charger and then said on the way back, 26-year-old Ung Payo allegedly grabbed his stepson by the arm. The stepfather says he kept saying he wanted the boy because he was in danger and that after he pushed Payo away, he still kept trying to get into their home. Now, deputies didn't find any visible injuries on the kid, but it still scared the child's family.
You just got to watch the people that you're surrounded by and, you know, you got to protect our kids, definitely.
Deputies say when they arrested Payo, his speech was slurred, his eyes were glassy, he had sluggish body movements, and he appeared to be under the influence of something. Now, the stepfather says his son knows not to talk to strangers, and the family tells me they have been staying in that apartment for at least 2 years, and they've never seen Payo. Reporting live in Volusia County, Brittany Jones, Spectrum News 13.
And as Spectrum News 13's Brittany Jones explains, the church hopes these ceremonies will shed light on gun violence issues.
This is the tolling of the bell for the 49 who died, one by one.
Vern Wittenberg remembers sitting among the congregation the morning the shooting at Pulse happened.
I was horrified. It's a deeply ingrained memory in the hearts and minds of this congregation.
The United Church of Christ of New Smyrna Beach, a church built on equality, ringing the bell to remember the lives of people who never stepped foot in this church.
We don't know these young people, these beautiful people who died that night. We share a common humanity, regardless of sexual orientation or practice. We acknowledge that all are children of God.
From flags,
it's the rainbow flag, and this church celebrates that all are welcome.
To a video tribute and communion, each life was remembered with a small ceremony requested by the victims' mothers, touching everyone in the sanctuary.
Thank you so much for your blessed word.
It's sad to think that people can't get along, and to remember these people that they were just trying to have some fun.
Wittenberg hoping that now the highlight of their lives will be to make change.
And I'm hoping that this will be part of a wider awakening by people of the need to act about gun violence.
In Volusia County, Brittany Jones, Spectrum News 13.
Spectrum News 13's Brittany Jones explains why they're now trying to give back to him and his family as they face their own tragedy.
They became known as the Soggy Bottom Brothers. From one Hurricane Irma victim's home to the next, these four were inseparable.
Everything from cutting off roofs to, moving furniture to carrying a woman out of her house in his arms.
You're down there pulling, items out. You're literally crawling around in sewage, when that happens. And there wasn't even a hesitation.
Until 4 months later.
I just remember the phone call I got. I didn't know he was going to come home to us.
Sarah Warner's husband, Russ, a father of 4, was driving home from work and was hit head-on by a semi-truck. And the man that's always helping others is now helpless with a brain and spinal injury.
When the hurricane hit, that's the one thing that he wanted to do was go help the people in Flagler Beach.
Now with mounting bills, long travels to several doctors, and no health insurance, Warner's family needs the same community support who said he showed up every single day to help flood victims, sun up and sun down.
He's just an angel. He really is, and he deserves the best. We're going to do everything we possibly can to drive some funds his way.
Warner is already thankful for the support thus far, though their lives have forever changed. She says the kids are hoping for their dad back.
Because the quicker that he can recover, the better he can, the better it is for us and for our family. He can get back out there, he can help people, which is what he enjoys doing.
In Flagler County, Brittany Jones, Spectrum News 13.
Now, we do know that a fundraiser will be held at Tortugas Restaurant on June the 30th. The restaurant owners are dedicating their 2-year anniversary to Warner and his family. They'll be doing a silent auction and raffles. If you're interested in helping out by donating items for that fundraiser, contact Tortugas, Florida, and Flagler Beach. Brittany, I know this has been an emotional time for that family.
Yes, Tammy, and the victim's mother was not ready to speak on camera, understandably so, just dealing with the tragedy that happened here at this home behind me. And even more unsettling, they still don't know who did this.
Emotions ran high on Ambrose Street as 22-year-old Michael Dixon's loved one showed up to the scene. Out of respect, we didn't show them on camera.
This type of gun violence in our city, as I said before, is not going to be tolerated.
Around 4:30 Wednesday morning, DeLand police say a masked man came into the family's home and shot about 3 times, killing Dixon. The victim and his mother were the only 2 home at the time.
I heard like a boom, so I jumped up and I just opened my room door. And when I opened the room door, it was a man coming down the hallway with a gun.
Dixon's mother told the 911 dispatcher she believes the gunman said something to her son, but she couldn't make out the words. When police arrived, they found Dixon on the floor of a bedroom. His mother was so scared she ran to a neighbor's house.
I just jumped out the window and I heard like 3 shots or something, and I heard my son scream.
Police say this was likely not a random act of violence. They tell us Dixon has been in a little trouble with drugs before, but was never convicted and successfully completed a substance abuse program in 2016. His family says he was a good kid and are hoping police find his killer.
We would prefer that that person turn themselves into the DeLand Police Department and come in here peacefully.
The police chief says this is the second shooting within 3 days in DeLand. They don't know if they're related at this time, but certainly are looking into this. Now, the chief says he's created a special enforcement task force to look at crimes such as those. Reporting live in Volusia County, Brittany Jones, Spectrum News 13.